Hello, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on with you? Today's show is brought to you by Alert. Alert spelled with double L. Alert is an allergy translation app for people who have food allergies who want to travel abroad to countries where they don't speak the language with confidence. The app will allow you to select one of the 14 most common allergies, and it will translate it, warning message, in 44 different languages. So you can go to China, you can go to Russia, you can go to Cambodia or Korea or Japan or Spain or wherever, man. Just take the app with you, select your allergies, select your dietary preferences. So if you're vegetarian, you can use the app too. And press the big yellow button and your phone will show a warning message to whatever grocery store you're in or restaurant you're at. And that will allow you to eat all around the world despite of your allergy. Your food allergy doesn't have to hold you back from seeing the world anymore. Alert! You can find it in the App Store soon. You can sign up for the release list at alertapp.com. That's alert with double L. alertapp.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, today's episode is episode number 15, and I will be talking to the guys in the AAA Fresh Gallery. I have one of the artists who was a part of that crew on in episode number 10, Roderik Faasen. I highly recommend you check that one out because that's a very wild, funny episode. And this time I have all three guys in front of the mic, Roderik Faasen, Maikel Kleinjan, and Hans Kleinjan. And they produce their art in Rotterdam, north side of Rotterdam, at the AAA Fresh Gallery. You can check out their website at AAAfresh123.com or just Google AAA Fresh on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. Or I don't think they're on Twitter, actually. So just they're mostly on Facebook and Instagram. Check their stuff out. It's really cool stuff, really wild, crazy art, and it's a good reflection of their personality because this is the first time I had a hard time keeping things under control because these dudes are just all over the place. It's a pretty wild one, this one, so strap in for crazy shit. All right, guys. Roderik Faasen, Hans Kleinjan, Maikel Kleinjan, episode number 15. Enjoy, motherfucker!
Recorded someplace random on this interesting planet we live on with your host, Dick Hube. You're listening to the Polarizer Podcast.
You fat cunt.
Jullie vallen er niet stil.
Okay.
You're not going to start about the fucking
boys
Me Too
ready?
discussion.
Yes. Right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ignition start.
That's right. Yes, right. Well, welcome to the show, everybody. We're at the AAA Fresh Gallery here in Rotterdam. And I'm talking today with Hans Kleinjan, Roderik Faasen, whom you guys heard in episode number 10, one of my favorite recordings so far, and Maikel Kleinjan. And
Forgive me, I have to open a 10-up beer.
Go ahead. That's a good sound effect. So, Hans, you started this whole thing, right?
Well, this only turned out to be true later on. Yeah.
All right.
I thought I started it, but after that I met these guys, then I found out that it was true.
He started it by the end.
I started at the end, yeah.
Okay.
Then we meet each other.
Can you elaborate on that? Like what?
Yeah, because already in the Roman Empire they understood that everything was the other way around.
Okay.
So it would, in this sense, it was a very sensible thing to start the other way around.
Okay.
So that you don't that time will invite you for your mistakes. Time going on otherwise that they meet you halfway, and that you think, "Fuck, I made the wrong start."
Right.
So when you do it the other way around, you have no problem at all.
So you had to be ready to.
Yeah. I was ready.
Okay.
And I found out that the guys were they were already ready, but they didn't know themselves. But
right. So you started in a different gallery than the one we're here. This one is huge.
Gallery. I did the gallery because it was like an experience to understand what a gallerist must do to sell a painting from an artist. But I didn't want to be a gallerist.
Okay.
But I had to, as an artist, I had to understand what kind of skills a real good gallerist must have.
Right.
And so it is a difficult job to be a gallerist.
Okay.
Because you have to...
You're primarily an artist.
You're between the buyer and the maker.
We discovered we're not gallerists,
and that is real. No, I'm serious about that. When you're a gallerist, you're between the maker and the buyer. And you have to
instead of
manage that. So that's a difficult task, but we are not gallerists, we are artists.
Yeah.
But because of the fact that we made a gallery ourselves and we make people think that we are gallerists, then we learned about what the fucking shit is that really.
Right. You recently
to be a fucking gallerist that you never want to be in your life because it's the shittiest job in the world. Yeah.
Is it?
But on the other hand, it's also fucking interesting.
Yeah, you recently added someone to the AAA team to help manage the whole thing.
Yeah, and we put this problem in his head.
Right.
And he understood immediately.
So now you can just focus on your art.
And because of that,
slowly,
because of that, we can focus on our art.
This guy kind of he helped us building the fundamentals, like with most of the buildings built after 1900, they have like these crazy structures underneath the ground just to make sure they can stand like they're supposed to for a decent amount of years, you know. And this guy Ian, he was like he's like the guy
Ian is the guy who's like the management part. Yeah.
The last 6 months, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before that, we like because we started it our own. Everything is built up exactly like our own thoughts.
Yeah.
Like
empirical.
And that's the cool thing.
Trial and error thing.
Like we could have had somebody like Ian from the start, but then it would never be this pure like it is right now because we always did it on our own.
Right.
I think we have a guy now that does this kind of things. It's just good for the structure. We discovered that we can have structure.
Right.
In the mess that we have like last 10 years.
Yeah, because I think...
This is a guy that doesn't understand nothing about art. He's actually not interested in it.
He used to
and now the last 6 months, we went to TEFAF. This is one of the biggest art fairs.
Where is that?
You have in Maastricht.
Okay,
Netherlands. In the world. And it was like walking around and watching Picasso's and Miro and I know Rembrandt and that kind of artist. And he was like, boys, explain me something, I don't understand the fuck. I don't know what I'm doing here, actually. So from that point, and then if you look like this last months, it's like incredible. The guy is
he's the fastest fucking learner in the world.
In the thing that we are doing, like what we want to do. And he has more future vision than
he's like a computer guy.
He's like a strategic computer nerd, actually. But the funny thing at TEFAF was that at some point we were standing in a gallery because TEFAF is like all the big galleries, they come together at TEFAF and they build up their own stand, their own gallery. And we saw this old English fuck. And he was... There were beautiful paintings hanging in that gallery. I think it was Maddox or something. And then Ian... We talked with the old guy. And then at some point Ian said... Oh, so that's gonna be me in 25 years, like talking about the art of you bunch of assholes. But he actually lost that, so yeah.
All right. But before, let's go back a little bit. Before you guys were in this beautiful, enormous place, you were in Delfshaven. And what year from when till when did you?
Actually, it started in 2005, and then I had been working with other people, and at the moment that I was totally glad to be completely alone.
Right.
Almost simultaneously, Roderik and Maikel walked in and asked me the same question can you involve me in what you're doing? And then I asked them both, what are your skills? And then they showed me their drawings, and then, yeah.
So they just found you somehow.
Yeah, and the other way around, because...
Yeah.
Well, I came from Spain just to visit my family in the Netherlands for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Because it was like a long time.
In what year?
2009.
Yeah.
I think. And
After Christ.
I just came for 2 weeks and I never get the plane back. So it just was
cool.
I discovered the place. Most of the people wonder why you stay in the Netherlands, but that's because they don't realize it's not about the place, but about the people that you have around.
Yeah.
I mean,
so how long are you? You came for 3 weeks, and how long are you here now?
I came for 2 weeks, now for 10 years.
10 years.
A bit more.
Okay. Okay. You're not missing the weather yet, or?
Well, I can go back whenever I want.
Right.
I mean, in the studio it's always warm.
That's true.
And with plants enough.
It's that's almost like a jungle.
In all kind of forms. So yeah, fuck the weather.
Yeah.
Cliche.
That's true.
When I'm 80, maybe I want to lie in the sun a bit, but then
Yeah,
I want to think about all the things I did.
Right. Yeah. No, I can see that.
It's not about the weather,
But
every day the weather is totally perfect. It depends on the way you look at it. Because when it rains and the street is wet, you can see the reflection of the trees on the other side, which you could not see if everything was dry.
That's true. Yeah.
And it's for free.
That's true too. It's always free.
Gratis. That's a nice word. Gratis.
It's
A
also
lot of languages
also
also
the word
say the same thing.
Yeah.
But not in English, for free. But they have another coin anyways.
Well, it's actually the word gratis. That's an English word too.
Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, exact same word. They borrowed that from us.
Lucky
one
English
thing, huh?
speaking people. Okay.
Give it back.
Well, that's funny. I really enjoy nice weather, but I guess that's just me. I don't know. When it rains, I'm like, fuck this.
Yeah.
But I guess
We all
I
love
can
to play
I can see how you get some from an artistic standpoint. You can look at it differently.
When you see the rain, the juice falling from the sky, you can realize that it all began with like life is juice.
De zogenaamde jus.
The liquefied.
Liquid is life. I mean, we like jump out of our father's penis.
Yeah.
In the form of liquid, of jus.
Yeah.
And you need jus to.
Jus de vivre.
Then you can keep it.
It's not joie de vivre, it's jus de vivre. Jus de vivre. So we painted. We talk with the three of us, but we also paint with the three of us. So that's the difficult thing to understand. How can you with it? Are you getting angry with each other? No. Well, almost. No, never. Yeah, a little bit, just for fun.
Right.
So we make paintings, threesomes.
Okay.
Like
artistic threesomes in a way.
Yeah.
So when you have a visual problem on the left upper side, then you have to find a solution on another square centimeter of the same canvas.
Right. Like, are there any other successful artists where just 3 people work together and make one thing and sort of figured something out. Like,
but there are none. That doesn't mean that they're not. They're not good. I think there are enough people.
Only because they met each other and they worked together. But we decided to do it together. They just let it be.
I think there were.
That's a difference.
Yeah, the thing is that we started to paint together is because one of us had like some opinion about something we're making, and then the other said, "Okay, if you see it so clear, then make it yourself. Grab my painting and make it." And at that point, you realize you can have kind of co-working or collaborating thing, and you can look to that in 2 ways. One is, what the fuck is this guy doing on my piece of art? Or you can just grab the opportunity to do something like different and learn about that. So we decided to not have a problem with that. That's the difference.
Not at all.
Right.
Because and on the other hand, it is also like that all 3 of us have our own completely from a distance recognizable own handwriting.
That's true.
And we have a mutual handwriting.
Yeah, I can always tell.
There is also art between Maikel and Roderik.
Yeah, it's
and
different.
Also between Maikel and me, between Roderik and me. And so there are there is a combination of visual products.
And because of being surrounded with all of each other's paintings and drawings all the time, you
have constant influence.
Constant influence of each other, and we totally.
You cannot avoid it.
Like we totally.
We don't want to avoid it.
We are fully open to see each other. We are actually.
If you're a painting, if you're a painter, you're looking all the time.
Hierarchy.
Right.
There's no hierarchy.
Yeah, you can only do that if you check your ego at the door.
It's
good to kill the ego sometimes.
Yeah,
but it's too huge in society. Egos. There's no need to have one actually, but if you have it, at least have some control about it. I mean, why should you think you know it better? I mean, we have the nice thing is we have a collective ego. We created one,
right? The AAA
and I
ego.
think most of the group of people you have in the world, what they do is not really important if it's music or just being together or painting. I mean, you have a collective thing. Right. And you can make something with it or not. We decide to make paintings with it.
Yeah, because if you want to compare us with a symphonic orchestra...
Yeah, you're like a band, you know?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Then nobody can be surprised that we did 3, only the 3 of us.
I think we understand each other at the same level as a jazz band can understand each other, even if you play another instrument. Because actually we play other instruments.
Okay. Like what instrument do you play?
I'm not the drummer.
Okay.
I know that.
Okay. Who's the drummer in the band?
I think we can play all instruments. I think. I don't like drums.
Okay.
It's too noisy.
Yeah, drums are loud, man.
I actually remembered the day because I used to have a lot of drum lessons for 12 years in a row. Every Tuesday, I went to
which worked out.
But that moment that I turned like instead of 2 sticks that you play drums with, it were pencils, which is actually kind of the same size piece of wood you have in your hand.
Roderik is the drummer. I'm the limitless solo guitar, and Hans is this. How do you call this instrument that you smash these 2 metal things against each other?
Yeah.
Okay, that's Hans.
Yeah.
And sometimes a triangle. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and harmonica.
But my favorite instrument actually is the guitar.
Okay, but is it
because it is a piece of wood and some pieces of metal that are made together in such a way that the intelligent and motorically able person can eat your heart out, can touch the maximum sentiment. And this is what I thrive for.
Also your art,
and what I have to my great joy saw that in the same intensity, Roderik and Maikel do the same with another visual effect.
Okay.
So the drawings and the painting from Maikel alone, and the drawings and the painting from Roderik alone, and mine alone, are as it is, to my professional opinion, and I think that I'm a professional, totally interesting. And then we have also this fucking mutual thing, which is for us totally funny and inspiring. And then we push each, and when we are working at the same painting, we talk with each other. And then Roderik has this thing that he jumps an octave and start to talk like an idiot woman that is managing the toilets in a big discotheque in Rotterdam, and said, "Hi, Roderik." And then and from her perspective, he is starting to tell me what she is thinking about our mutual painting. So that is fuck. Okay, and that is what one of the interesting aspects of what we do.
Okay. And that inspires you to do all kinds of stuff, and then you probably do the same with them. Yeah.
To come back to your question,
Tell me about some characters you guys embody sometimes.
Okay. Next level. Okay.
Yeah. I want to hear it.
Everybody. Hopefully.
Right.
Okay. For example, we were invited in the Laurenskerk.
Right.
For a benefit dinner.
The big church in the center of Rotterdam.
The topic was multiple sclerosis, MS. The guy was losing his abilities due to this illness.
Okay.
And then one of the most famous female singers from Holland was giving this performance, and he talked to everybody. Whilst everybody could understand him, and somebody that could still understand him translated what he wanted to say.
Okay.
And this sentiment we put on a canvas.
Okay.
And it was sold.
Right.
So we are used to making a visual experience out of a sentiment.
I see.
That we
to the maximum possible level.
Right.
If we have the opportunity.
Yeah. I'm sorry to interrupt, but we need to turn that music down in the background.
Yeah,
because that's
okay.
Otherwise they won't.
Kan je die plaat iets zachter zetten, Ine?
Kun je die platen verkillen?
If there's music on the recording, it's copyright infringement.
And then they don't listen anymore.
No, they don't allow the upload. So
So
but
digitally recognize that there is some.
Yeah, they recognize that there's copyright material, and then they just block it.
Then we start our discussion now.
But mostly in our paintings we have laat die gozer smelten.
Copyrighted.
I think
we kill the guy. Fuck him.
Ergens anders heen.
Hey, but Dexter, to come back to your question, like the question you guys are making these paintings together, and are there, like, is that a common thing? Has it been going on that three people like paint together, like make put their mutual visuals and moves and on a piece of sure it has been, but the last couple of years we made like I think 150 paintings together.
For the least.
I think there were people maybe a couple of hundreds of years ago that were making like these 3 guys making stuff together.
Yeah.
But we do it for a couple of years already now, you know. It's like going on for 8-9 years.
Yeah, and
we're not even really started.
Money.
There was a sentence.
Don't give a shit about fucking money.
A sentence that Hans always said. We zijn nog niet eens begonnen, weet je. We're not even started yet.
No.
And Mike, we are actually kind of
ready.
We are ready to rumble right now.
Ready for the big breakthrough.
Upcoming months, we're gonna replace an amount of paint that's. I mean that when you really clearly think about it, painting is just putting every drip of paint on the right spot.
Right.
The paint is actually already there. You know, the material is already here.
Right.
You just get it out of the tube and put it on the right place. And to do that, to be able to do that together, gives a kind of crazy, like your heart is gonna beat a bit faster because of it. You know.
Right. It's a deep interpersonal experience.
Yeah, we are all kind of addicted to it.
Well, I should recommend any human to make once in his life a painting bigger than himself.
Why is that?
Because that's fucking as you do. I mean, if you do that, then you understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
The same
Bigger than yourself.
To ask that is the same thing to ask what does it mean, the painting. It's like you have it in front of your eyes, and then you ask, "What does it mean?" I mean, just look, you know. The same thing. Do it, and
right.
Body language comes up, kind of.
Yeah. So you turn an emotion into an image in a way.
Yeah. Where you're able to transform something that most people see as a problem, like a really big canvas in front of you, as something you can enjoy of, and then that's different. Now, if I put it in front of you right now, they will say, fuck. First thing you will think is like, what can I do with this? When you're done with that, then you can do it. Right.
So what I discovered in the last 10 years is there is a enormous part of intuitivity to the intent, which are behind the intentions that all the 3 of us do.
Which has nothing to do with actual society. And if you think about society, how many things can you say in 2 seconds that are intuitive in society? Everything, every movement you do in a day, you almost did already 1,000 times. Mm-hmm. Intuitive, like hunting.
So painting is kind of like a natural.
You can make it
thing
intuitive.
For you, you're saying. Okay.
You can make it intuitive, like writing.
Well, and in this sense, like Maniakism is like
music.
A necessity.
Tell me,
it is a pure necessity to do it.
Tell me about Maniakism. Roderik talked about it in the first recording we did, but can you explain that again? What
I think it has to do exactly with that, with doing something really wanted to do that, and if you really want to, then you get kind of ancient. Part of yourself. Everybody has an ancient thing in it, and painting has to do with that. And there's Maniakism, doing with quite a lot of power something you really like to do,
something that's
because it's like something natural for you, like it was hunting or again music or something like this. That comes from a place that you're not really completely in control of, but it's really yours.
And that's actually a thing that humans slowly lose, that kind of feeling, because we're so busy with, like when Mike told me this afternoon, today was the last day he went in a supermarket for the rest of his
get crazy there, mate.
Really? Like the supermarket
I cannot handle anymore.
The sheep feeling you have, that's like to explain maniacism, that feeling like that is kind of the opposite of maniacism. Like the sheep feeling that you're getting all these sliced pieces of meat, all these fucking labels and names that they gave it, and you just grab it and buy it. It's nothing animal in that anymore, you know.
True.
The word mania, everybody has like this mania,
Right.
mani in himself.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm going to ask those guys to turn the music down because I can hear it. Yeah, hold on. All right, music's turned off. We can continue.
Okay.
All right, so you guys were talking about all kinds of other stuff. I heard something about walking backwards, but before we get to that, what you said about maniacism, that going to the supermarket feeling like a robot or standing in traffic,
Well, not
or waiting
exactly that. It means
it's like the opposite of that you're saying.
There's just one thing you can think about. I mean, it's bigger than that. It's a way of living. It's not. I think this word came from that we were saying all the time to each other, like maniac, because you see like Roderik or Hans painting, and the movement, the body language that you see with the guy who's making the painting, it was like a maniac, what they say in the Dutch language, and that's just what I explained. Someone who's doing really what he likes to do, you know, and in a quite huge amount of energy, and from there, that point that word came by itself, actually.
Is it in the total concentration?
We don't
In
invent.
the maximum possible concentration.
It just appears, like you start to say a word more in a group of friends or something. It's a word that comes up, and then it sounds good, and then you say it more and more, and then at some point you discovered something more than just a word that you say to.
Yeah, so we have a mutual expression, but we decided also on the same level that we don't give a shit if anybody likes it or not. That's another discussion.
But I think a name is something that human invent to recognize something. Yeah. Like I have a name, and if you say Maikel, I turn, and not Roderik.
It's a good device to help us understand.
Once you
things,
explain what it is, and then you use it to talk about something, and not. I mean, the meaning of Maniakism is what we paint.
Right. Well, I think it's an appropriate name too, because there's a lot of mania in there, I think.
Yeah, I think that how more you explain about something like this, how more you grab from the guy who's looking and his own way to look and imagination. If I explain everything, then I think the best I can explain for what we're doing now is in 20 years. I think then I can explain what now is happening, you know?
Right.
If I have to say now what now is happening, then we'll be quite bored. If I really know, you know? Right. I don't know.
And besides paintings, you guys do all kinds of other very cool things too. I saw the Congos and the motorcycle with the gas tank, and guitars now. Guitars made in Australia by friends of mine who were actually guests on the second episode of this podcast. So I hope you guys get to meet one day, because they would fit right in with you.
Yeah, right. Thank you, mate.
They're building guitars in Australia.
Yeah, like a couple of friends I met during my travels in Perth, Australia, 4D guitars, and I already love them because of the name. But these two dudes who just talk a bunch of shit, drink a bunch of beer, and build guitars.
So due to you, we got here in our studio two guitars. A star kind of, but maybe we'll add some elements to it, but then when you think it's finished, we send it back, and then they put on the strings and then make it work.
Yeah, they sent you a Gibson Flying V body and a Gibson Les Paul
good
body.
Looking,
yeah, So those things are
Really
going to be
nice
cool,
ones,
man. I can't wait.
I mean, they're around in the studio for 1 month, 1.5 months now. And we all the time cleaning our brushes on it. So, so it will be nice anyway.
Well, that's how it's going to start.
I mean, it was a piece of wood and now it's something with color. Give it a month and then put it in the leg.
But then at a certain moment, I thought I can play air guitar, and then I wanted to take it, but then I went alone to the loo.
Okay.
I went alone to the loo. Okay.
But,
Yeah. So it has not only to do with paintings, drawings, and it has to do with lateral, intellectual, and intellectual. Artistic thinking.
If you became
what we do.
If you became a client of Postcode Loterij,
The lottery,
then you get the card for the supermarket for 15 euros. You can buy for free food. So you pay for lottery, but you get the card to buy food. So for your task.
So this is something that we are also busy with.
Even I cannot invent
you
this
come to drink a
magnificent
beer,
thing.
but you have to buy a painting.
Hier, loterij, maar ik kan wel eten. Ik heb niet je poen.
So I guess you are business savvy after all, because that's that's.
There is a business. There is a very global business model. Come on, guys. But they already know. They already know that. That's the funny thing about it. There is a global business model. AAA hamburgers. When you don't buy AAA hamburgers, there's somebody is coming to fucking kill you. You not even know when it happened. Now it happened. Yeah.
Volgende vraag.
Next question, please.
I'm confused, guys.
That was the purpose of the whole meeting, that they confuse you.
Well, I always leave here confused one way or another.
Obviously, it's not possible from anybody to confuse us. We are already in such a high level confused that nobody can confuse us. We are fucking make the confusion.
I think just what now happened that you can call maniakism. We paint exactly this way. What we are talking now.
That's a conversation.
We're trying to make from this conversation something useless where you can learn something. I mean, that's what we do with painting. Exactly
when
that.
you can learn something useless.
That's the best way we can explain it. This chaos.
The first time in your life you learn something completely useless. Then you're on the level that we are thinking about. Yeah. Because
kind of abstract interview. Welcome to abstract interview tonight.
Dus als het ergens op lijkt, weet je wel, dan is het waardeloos.
Right, if it looks like something, it's worthless. All right, that's well, okay.
So
all right, we'll go with that.
When anybody comes in this fucking joint and they say, it looks like and then we just throw them in the river, yeah.
Is het logisch dan wil ik het
logisch? Ja.
Oh man.
Ja.
All right.
Kijk, one thing is for sure. When you do something for the good, then you must not be surprised that you are punished for the same action.
Right, yeah. No good deed goes unpunished. And all
I think so. No good deeds come unpunished. Right. Yeah.
Okay, so now we're fucking stopping.
Now the interview starts.
Now we're getting deep, man. Good stuff.
Okay. Anybody in the world that proves otherwise?
The sentence that we heard more in this space, I think, is my grandma also paint.
So when people come here,
that's again. Oh, my grandma also paint.
Yeah, but then we discovered that the answer of that is in which museum was she present?
Right.
Yeah, and when then the answer is in none, then we throw them in the fucking river. Ja, toch?
Yeah. So things are going to get thrown into the river. That's basically.
But
we
not,
jump
not talking about the concrete around the feet.
Right. Not like that. Not like that.
We're not going to talk about the Italian shoes, okay?
Okay. Yeah. That's.
We're only visual mafia,
right?
Not physical. Yeah. Okay. Somebody's going to tell us that there is another guest.
Is that true?
Yeah. Just tell them that we are a little bit busy. Yeah, we'll be there in a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. Carry on, mate.
Carry on. All right. So there's big adventures coming for you guys because you are taking your operation abroad soon. I heard something about Shanghai.
Yeah.
Chinese.
You know, what the problem of the people in Shanghai is what they have no conscience about it at all. Is then that when you know that the residual ice sheet is such thick that when it melts in a day, globally sea level will rise for 60 meters, then nobody lives in Shanghai.
Right.
But before it happens, because we know it, they don't want to know it, they are in denial. But before then the denial changes to conscience, we just go to Shanghai to have this fucking expo. And in this same exposition, Roderik and Maikel and I mutually will explain the guys there they have to move the city because all 20 million people are going to have wet fucking feet.
Right.
Okay?
So you're also.
That's why we go to Shanghai. Okay? What podcast do you want to hear? What else you want to know? Okay, come on, mate. Yeah. But it's not. I'm going to the oxygen chamber now because otherwise I get hyper.
De zuurstoftanking. Even een pak
But yeah, and I hate the guy, but I want to say it's true. It's fun. This is true. Let's talk about the essence of life.
That's a good idea.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
That's a good idea.
Your question.
Your question.
Our answer.
Okay, so the meaning of life. What does that come back in your paintings, or is that what Maniakism is about too?
Yeah, we had just wondered, and do you want a real philosophical answer, or
Sure.
do you want the funny non-existing shit?
Well,
The philosophical one?
The funny Sinatra version.
The Sinatra version.
the philosophical version is good too.
Yeah, then you must ask Maikel. He is the most philosophical guy from our three.
All right, Maikel.
I think I answered that question
Spanish
already.
Oh,
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
I think.
Okay, but let's go back to Shanghai. We don't want them to get wet feet, so that's why you guys are going there.
yeah, one of the reasons.
That's one of the reasons.
Well, I think that there's some galleries that understood what we are making here and they're interested in. So we have not really a moment in the year that we're going to go there, but we have a yes at least. From the gallery there, really wants to have us there.
And in the same moment, we have maximum respect for the energy which is going on in the art district in Shanghai, which is, to my opinion, unique in the world.
What kind of art do you find there?
What do you wanna have?
Everything.
Yeah,
I think Chinese market has quite a lot.
That's really
everything.
impressive.
The funny thing there
No problem
in
to be
China
part
is
of
that these people don't really know how to. They're not actually able to have and spend that amount of money they have, because they only have that for 15 years. Before, like 15 years ago, when you had more money than somebody else, they cut your hands off.
Yeah.
Everybody had to be exactly the same.
Communism.
Yeah, but it's evolving society. Fastest in the world, to my mind.
But I think it's quite
They're really
interesting for them to see how 3 guys are making together something what's really actually particular from one person. Because they're more like massive, acting massive, you know. I think if we go there, we do an exposition. We do live painting also because we like to, at least people can see how we make it. That's interesting. I mean, we paint live at the same time that we have the expo there, and people there. It's now the society is not good, not bad. It's just different.
Right.
And if they see like what we do, I think they can appreciate. And the Chinese culture is really always looking to everything. That's why they make fucking pictures of everything, because they're really looking to it. I think if they see us, they can understand what we're doing.
Well, in the intellectual way, you can when you see communism as working together.
Well,
and on the
that's not the way I look at communism.
yeah, but like that everybody is the same.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, which is not true, but that is communism makes everybody the same.
By
Yeah, but
principle.
We are also
kind
the
of-
same. But on the other side of the spectrum.
Right, yeah. That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think in the near future it will be about fully luxurious democratic communism. So soon, like in less than 10 years, every person, especially in the beginning only in the Netherlands, is gonna have this thing, basisinkomen.
Basic income.
The basic income. We're not like in the 80s. Nixon already, it was almost passing through, but then some crazy guy stopped it. You know.
Well,
But,
I think
that's
there's
like,
many economists who are making the claim that it's bad for the economy. I can see why, because you're artificially affecting the market, which is never a good thing.
Well, I think it's so big that no one of us understand the fuck about it. I think people study 20 years to understand a bit.
Well,
And we are like busy with our thing, and then we try to understand something. I mean, fucking do your thing, and then that's the best way.
Right.
I mean,
when we're talking about what
We
are
make our money.
what are the really lovely things that going on these days that we live in, that it's crazy the amount of people from all different countries you can speak. Here in our gallery, a lot of people just walk in, especially in the summer, and you have all these crazy conversations that
All nationality.
you don't normally, when you want to have a conversation with somebody you don't know, you have to go a place where, like to a pub or something. But we have our own. This is like the big playground of Rotterdam. That's our place. In the summer, the doors are wide open and people can walk in, and you end up in conversations and meeting people that you would never be able to.
The doors are open and on the speakers also.
Yeah.
But there is also
On the speakers.
an enormously fast understanding. Doesn't matter who walks into our doors place, but there is also a fast understanding. People, they grab it. So we abolished of the word no. It's about yes.
We're gonna have this exhibition, and we're gonna put all these.
Yeah, it's
all
also
these
about
standard lines
language.
that
Fuck you!
That people tell.
Don't run away from me, you mate. Hey mate, don't run away from me. Yeah, now I'm going for a big piss. Yeah, that's for the piss fetishisten van de luisteraar. I'm going for a piss. When you want to formulate for yourself,
right? Cut this.
what do I and preferably Roderik and Maikel want to communicate to the world, and when you achieve, when you achieve it to touch the soul, brain, heart, and guts, and whatever is inside the human body with your image, then you start to be a famous artist. Okay. Yeah? When you enter in everybody's brain and heart and soul, then you are Rembrandt, then you are... So we tried with the three of us to analyze what's the magic? What's the fucking magic? Why, when start people, all people in the world start to love it? One of the things that we discovered is that we have to abolish of the word no. It's about yes.
Okay, always.
Yeah.
Even when
no is where the doubt begins.
It would be strange if the answer to
have no
that
choice.
question is
You have to give. You have to throw. You have to throw. No. Yeah, you have to throw in.
No, that's it. Yes is yes.
Yeah, everything without restraint.
No, at least, I mean, as much as you can. I mean,
no, as much as you must.
Doubt is energy. Anyway,
I think it's funny that.
Now you experience the shit with between us.
The funny thing is
open up now.
The word no in Dutch takes you more letters than the word yes, which is in Dutch ja.
Yeah.
So
Dus like
in Dutch,
the other way.
Yeah, all intelligent people are lazy.
It's the other way around.
No.
Ja, klopt. Ja, dat is waar.
Oh,
je meer moeite om nee te zeggen.
No, they agree. They agree, and I disagree.
I see.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So you know what's about. You know what it's all about.
So you had that movie of Jim Carrey, Yes Man.
Yes, man.
Yes, man.
I don't know the movie, but I like the name. Yes Man.
Yes, man.
Of course.
So I was walking in my like the street I used to live, and I saw this neighbor of mine, this woman. I think she's 40 years old. And she was walking towards me, and she stopped me and she said, yeah. So it's now a couple of weeks ago, like 3 weeks ago, that my husband died. Would be an idea to get the hips going a bit, you know.
I think I told the story last time, but this is a good story.
So I looked at her, and this woman was saying like, show you, okay, yeah, too. So I said, okay, no problem, you know, come with me. So during the session, she asked me, are we doing alrighty or what? So I looked at her and yeah. Hey.
No problem.
I said, mais bien sûr.
Mais bien sûr.
Mais bien sûr, madame.
Bien sûr, madame. No, pas de problème.
So I asked her then, and she said, don't let my husband hear it.
Yeah.
He would turn around in his grave. So I said, now we can do it. Then we just do it 2 times. Then she liked the same as she did.
I'm right again. Okay. So but seriously.
Right.
The humor between us, the absurdistic humor between us whilst we are painting, you can see in the finished fucking product. Huh?
Ja, de kwasterijen.
Excuse my words, but I'm serious about that. That we paint with the three of us as a gig, okay? That we do it for a long time already is astonishing. And then when you're here is the decision that we have decided that we only stop with it when one of us dies whilst making our own art. I think this is an interesting process to follow for your hearers.
Right. I like that idea. And your mission, if I understand correctly, is you want to reach the level like Rembrandt, where your art touches everyone in some kind of way.
What other goal should we have? To be world famous in Rotterdam? No.
Well, that's one of the things.
Yeah,
it will be nice.
So one of the things, one of the most important lessons I had, I think it's 8-9 years ago right now, it was from a guy, Chris van Harskamp. And I was drawing at those days with the water
Color.
Yeah, just the most easy paint you can get, but then the most beautiful colors inside. And this guy Chris van Harskamp at the old atelier in Delfshaven, he taught me to get out of the like, yeah, when you think about, you at some point you end up with a frame of paper in front of you, which is completely empty, and then you just start to draw something. But he taught me to actually get out of the piece of paper and see it like it's just a small part of something enormous, which is endless, like the universe, you know? And then one day later, Hans, I was talking with Hans, and he said, just to make sure, a line is just it's also actually a piece. How do you say that? A vlak?
A span.
Like a line creates another surface.
No. You have a line and a vlak.
Surface.
The surface. A line is also a surface, but just a really thin one.
Right.
But like when you zoom into it, it's also surface, which is endless big. Just a matter of perspective, right? How close do you put your eye to it?
But the good thing of Chris van Harskamp is that this guy was really accurate when he was making a drawing, really carefully. But when he was painting, it was like watching him fight, like with Muhammad Ali, you know?
Really?
It's completely different vibe and way of doing, but the result was fucking the same.
Really?
Yeah. But it was like, how the fuck? I prefer him like as a guy who makes drawings, but when you see the paint, it's exactly the same as the drawing, but the drawing is like really think about every line there. And the painting is just
guerrilla mode.
Like he's put his brain in a just a kind of with paint, and then the throat brain against the canvas.
Yeah,
exactly that.
And then in between the painting, he's like
times.
Yeah.
And at the same time, he's really fucking your brain of your brain. Chris van Harskamp. This guy will be one day really fucking famous for what he did.
Chris van Harskamp?
Nee, Chris Harskamp.
Chris Harskamp. Does he have a website or
a website? Yeah. He will have one, but
he's
not
on
yet.
Facebook. He's on Facebook.
Yeah,
okay. Find him on Facebook.
He has a cat, and the name of the cat is Rotko.
Okay.
Gets completely black.
Check Rotko if you don't
Yeah.
know this guy.
Yeah. I miss him, man. Actually.
So actually, the studio at this moment is also a podium for all kinds of artistic and intellectual expressions. And in the meantime, we do our own thing.
Yes. So we split up our place into two spaces.
Two spaces.
And one of them is the gallery, and the other one is the atelier. Like we smashed the wall in between these two buildings. I mean, what's smashing a wall when you look to a pyramid, you know? The amount of people died building those fucking pyramids. Like people talk about the Chinese wall. That was kind of... it was smelly up there, man. When they built it, it was fucking smelly.
But there are a couple of concepts also in the studio. So when anybody invites us for an exhibition, we come 1 week in front and we ask them for like 25 empty canvases and give us a studio, and then we bring no painting from us what we made here. We make them on the spot. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the fucking exhibition.
Right.
Then we, with the three of us, visualize what we feel.
Preferably with a brush topped with some squirrel hairs, you know.
Is that different than?
Yeah, the squirrel hairs. I tried them. Our friend Lars Hartnock once lent me his
hair.
He lent me his pencil.
Oh.
and it was like with the squirrel hair, and he always carried these lovely colors with him. But when especially with what
yeah.
So,
yeah.
That sure it matters what kind of pencil you use. Sometimes we just have fucked up pencils in our atelier.
The gamma,
that's
gamma
also
pencils
always
are
a thing
quite cool.
that we never ask somebody else to do. Like we have a lot of tasks here around the gallery. We have lovely our fucking brothers who are together with us in like we're together on a ship, you know, an endless ship, and every year we build an extra sail.
Yeah. So
sometimes there are some holes. It's a bit pirate, like hanging a bit.
Okay, without a parrot, you know. But Roderik, to put it in a short, in a like a condensed sentiment, one of the super sympathetic, friendly, and intellectual partners of the studio decided to kill himself.
Okay.
So, and he did this before, and we were Lars, and we were busy with it to avoid it. But at a certain moment, he succeeded, and he killed himself. And at this moment, I was in the hospital fighting my fucking cancer, which I luckily enough succeeded in. And in the same time, I received on my mobile phone, photographs from Roderik and Maikel, who made the outside visual sentiment of his fucking coffin to be put into the earth.
Yeah, and
that was one of the most beautiful three-dimensional paintings they made.
You were like 52 kilograms when you
trying to
saw
survive my death. Huh? Mm-hmm. That is the center of this podcast. That is what these two guys are made of. I'm proud of that. Fucking proud of that. Okay. Yeah. And now gaan we. And now from now, easily we have no mutual problem. Not at all.
Try to imagine that at the same hand, one of your best friends is doing his best to actually to survive, taking like this crazy amount of pills to down the pain a bit, and not for just a couple of months, but for a couple of years. I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And actually surviving a thing that was fucking hard to survive, man. Like I say, at some point I came at Hans' his home. He was laying on the couch, and he was, I think, less than 50 kilograms. He looked like a fucking Smurf, you know, those blue comic motherfuckers.
Starved Smurf.
Fucking starved Smurf. Oftewel gesmolten IT. And at the same time that I was
green also.
That I was visiting Hans on that same moment. That other friend of ours, Lars, who was like completely fit. He was fully healthy. Beautiful guy, a guy to actually fucking fall in love with. You know?
Yeah. Absolutely. He killed.
My mother kind of fell in love with him the first time I took him home.
Yeah.
Because he was this crazy, kind and real.
Yeah. A lovable guy.
A really lovable guy. A bit too smart. But but that contrast, that like a friend who's really sick is fucking doing his best to survive. I even went with Lars to to Hans when Hans he was
visited us.
Yeah, we were visiting him, and then a guy who's completely healthy, he kills himself, you know.
In a public place.
In a public place, in a beautiful forest here, probably on the highest tree.
Yeah.
But
it's quite hard to hang any logic on this kind of happenings. But I think if you understand something like this, then I think you go yourself also. You know? So it's good that we don't understand to say it in a way.
To summarize this sentiment, can you and your hearers understand that when we give in this short interview, you know?
Well, we've been going for over an hour now.
Yeah, but we know each other all the time, you know. Okay,
going with 33 years.
And so, this sentiment is, mate. This sentiment is behind every fucking line.
Yeah, right. And the sentiment
and decision of color.
And it's about the awareness that we are actually are going to die. Every one of us.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take that long before you to die, you know. You can say that to everybody.
Yeah.
It's just the only thing that is limited is the amount of hours. And lately, I've kind of trouble because I really love to lay in bed, but then I think about the stuff the urge that we're busy with, and it's a fucking hunger, you know.
I know what you're saying, man.
I feel so.
Yeah, that's a Maniakism.
I feel so blessed to actually have that hunger in my life. I wake up and I dream about the most beautiful things.
Cool, mate.
And I know that I'm gonna live for another 80 years, you know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be something like 110. I swear.
For the least.
Yeah, I feel that.
I believe you, man. It wouldn't surprise me.
So even you are dying earlier than I am, because I'm for the 150
strange thing is that Roderik
shit.
is looking each year younger. I think it's like the movie. You know? He was born
Like the Brad Pitt
really
movie
old,
work.
you know, and he was a fucking baby. But also in what he knows, you know, because the good thing about us is we can forget about things you don't want to know about. You know, right or not? You know, at some point, some ideas throw to your head,
Right.
and then you have to. Actually, you can do two things. One is grab the idea and I'm going to try to understand, but you have another option, and that's where we are good in. You're going to throw that idea somewhere else, and then you can go with your own idea.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we just before the interview we were painting.
Yes.
And you were like really doing your best to grab our asses in this chair. But
I didn't want to disturb you.
But at some point this will end, and we're going to go forward with the thing we were doing,
right,
without any problem.
Yeah,
like
and it would
fucking fish that jumps out of the water and just falls in again.
And it would probably be different because of the interview we just had, and we talked about it
2
now.
seconds.
So it's like
And
in your
then
head
the
now,
thing
and
again.
you'll take what we
everything
what we
does
talked about
something
now
with it,
to
of
the
course.
painting now.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
It's about the inspirations. People sometimes ask you, where do you get your inspiration of?
But that's so interesting, man.
And the word inspiration, if you...
Before can I stop you for a second?
No, 1 second.
Okay. Well, okay. I'm gonna ask. But what you just said, like me taking you guys out of your work there, and I was like, oh well, I maybe shouldn't disturb those guys because they're all in their concentration stuff. But now I understand that doesn't even matter to you. Like, all right, like fuck it, we stop here. We go do what we got to do now.
If it's about something, then it's okay. If it's about something that we like to do or like to talk
then
about,
it's no problem.
Then it's no problem.
But sometimes it happens, and then you end up doing things that you're actually not should have been doing at that certain moment.
Yeah,
and that's also a thing that comes with life and comfort, because you want to like surround yourself with the people and like being able to have a decent warm home to go back to, and just to get some rest sometimes, because we're like sometimes nights become mornings.
Sometimes you're a little bit tired.
And the day,
sometimes you're a little bit tired, but most of the time,
evenings become becoming like mornings, you know, without breakfast, just another glass of prosecco, and then fucking flaming on. That are actually the vibes we have to focus ourselves on, because those are the moments we are painting. And lately we have been doing a crazy bunch of like building this whole story, and which is like the reflection of our lives.
And in the same time, it has everything to do with the conception of time.
Yeah. But
it's about the conception of time.
And the most important thing is that
how many time and where, which kind of time and what quality of time do you want to spend to whatever. So it has to be also, and that is, and we are
aware.
We are happy that we are able to change our conception of time.
Yeah, because I think painting contains space, but it also contains time somehow. It's weird that if you look at a painting, you get a sense of time in there, which is really weird.
Yeah.
And the change of time.
Yeah, that too.
That's the funny thing. Like when you compare it with music, which vanished, like the moment you hear it,
it's gone.
It's into space. It's gone into space.
Yes.
It's actually still there, but really far, because it moves. You know.
Yes.
And with painting, every single fucking movement you make, it stays there, you know.
It remains to be seen.
It remains to be seen.
Right.
And
That's an interesting thing because
That's really interesting.
time, the concept of time, because it's something that people invented. It's interesting. I mean, at least we put a number to it.
We didn't
we have
invent it.
24 hours a day, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
but that makes, I mean, that model makes a lot of sense, though.
Yeah, but if you see that painting,
It's not something
paintings,
random.
the way we're doing, it's quite a temporal. You know, there's no time in it.
Well,
You cannot place it in a kind of.
it's like a frozen
timeline.
moment in time.
Yeah, it's a frozen
Where
moment.
you can place it anyway.
I have a question for you. Like, what do you think the first human being ever that was actually getting probably some berries or something that was growing,
Some material.
and some material, probably a plant, something from a plant, and just
started to.
There was a guy who did that for the first time.
Yeah.
Fucking Neanderthaler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who look like a wolf a bit more than we do.
Than you.
Yeah. the baby face is getting a common thing in 200 years. Everybody has like this kind of like where we came from with these hooks in our teeth to actually being able to fucking
And for a couple of hundred years, it has been a male thing. Yeah.
You mean art or
Art.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, if it has to do with testosterone, I don't know, but it has to be. Yeah, okay. Do you want a list of the most famous artists of a couple of hundred years?
Yeah, but
there are no women inside. But
mostly
in this time.
No, but mostly it's made by men.
Guys, the female art is starting to come up, but I still
But
think
mostly,
that
mostly this true. It's
has
made
to
by
do with your
men,
dick.
but on the picture you have a woman.
That's true.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
That
The
makes
picture,
sense.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Waar komt vandaan?
Lekker man. Ja, no, the picture is...
where does it come from?
Laten we wel weten.
Where does it come from?
Yeah, it's your
Hold on,
neighbor.
guys. Hold on. Slow down.
Okay.
Holland.
Oh, come on.
Everybody has to learn Holland.
So Dick, one of the most inspiring and crazy things I ever saw and accepted in life is like when you look into the mirror as a man and you look to your body, which is kind of aerodynamic, right? Like how it goes with the head. Everything is.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's fully flat, and then like who fucking built on top of that story is this penis? You know?
Yeah.
Like your entire body is.
Yeah.
It's
It's
like a drip,
Yeah.
but then on top of that, this. When there's like a half liter of blood inside, you look into the mirror and you see your body fully streamlined, and then when
like
the flag of the United States.
Most of the.
You think that you're a rocket.
I wouldn't even say that is inspiration for me. That is my inspiration. This thing.
Not to talk about his parts.
At some point, they threw me in jail for a couple of days.
That's one of the best ideas I ever heard.
No, but when something like that happens, they take everything from.
They didn't kill you.
They take everything from you. They cut my the bracelets I had on my arms for a couple of years. But at some point, I was looking down, and I told the guy, you cannot take this one from me. And I was laughing. And I was jerking my ass off. I think I came like 5 times.
Yeah.
The last time took
Yeah,
me
but that's
2.5
the
hours.
masochistic thing. The last rib. Yeah. So, and they force you to clean the fucking joint.
And
No?
that's the most beautiful thing in life, that you have this thing between your thighs.
I love you too, mate.
Which, if you cross it too long with your
Listen
finger,
to this guy.
if you cross it too
Please.
long with your finger,
No, forget it. Yeah.
the fucking juice spreads out.
Heineken.
How beautiful is that? And it keeps on growing inside of your body.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, like cancer.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. So that's why we paint. That's why we paint.
That's life.
That's why we paint.
Oh, fucking crying.
Yeah.
Like purple helmet.
So, yeah. It's so, sorry, mate. This more logic you cannot drag out of us.
So that's
the top of logic.
That's your big inspiration for everything.
I'm always, when I hold my...
Talking about
when
inspiration.
I hold my penis with my right hand.
Yeah.
I'm looking to... I feel actually bad for my left hand.
Yeah.
Like, then I think, why aren't there two penises for my two hands? You know?
Yeah, but luckily enough,
Jesus Christ.
I'm one of the I'm lucky part of this threesome, because this I have had such a big operation that nothing functions other than in my brain.
Okay.
So they killed my body, and I found the solution in my brain. And then I'm completely serious about that, because my hormonal system is gone because of radiation therapy,
Petrified.
and all my functionalities that I knew that I had before, I had to transfer from my hormones to my brain, and they understand this. So the best thing that could happen in our mutual art process is that I have this had this complete total shit over me, which transformed me completely, and these two hyper intelligent, gifted guys understand that, and our togetherness is even stronger than before. This is, for me and for them, but for me, the essence of the hyper interesting process that is going on here. And there are a couple of people around us that understand it, and one of them is you. Thank you for that, mate.
Well, I'm I feel honored. Thank you.
Yeah.
I always feel that I'm in a very special place when I'm hanging out with you guys.
Yeah.
It's,
so thanks for this interview.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And for the intensity and the intellectuality behind it, and the love for us. Thank you, mate.
You're welcome, man. I love you guys.
Yeah.
Keep
And
doing
we
what you're
love it.
doing.
Yeah,
So
we will.
we end up with
You know that we will.
We end up with the thought, with the kind of with the strive to actually being able to convert to form something really really fucking negative and downwards going. We're at this moment so crazy able to transform stuff like that into something fully energized and positive.
Exactly. So, to the max.
And it weren't the loveliest, like, if I could choose the roads, in the end, for the first sight, you would never
you
choose them.
You wouldn't go down this road.
But we learned so crazy much about these moments.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's. I'm still kind of wondering if it's actually healthy to know this amount of fucking awareness of life.
There's also.
I don't know if that's healthy.
Dick, for all three of us, there also lies a danger.
Mm-hmm.
For each three of us, there is also a danger.
Yeah. And because for the people around us.
And for the people around, because the sentiments run so high, pushing, we all three of us pushing the limits to the max and a little bit beyond the max. Don't kill me about the word a little bit. Mm-hmm. But always in such a way that either one of us could ask each other, do you still know where the lit is? Mm-hmm. And this was always the case. Yeah, we made some the most stupid moves, and they're beyond reasonable proportions. But
if you know all things that are not handy to do, then the only thing that keep left is handy things. Mm-hmm. No?
Well, I think that's one of the. But that's like every successful person only became successful because he did many things wrong over and over and over again. So, and that's what you guys are doing. You just keep on going in the face of adversity, you know?
I think sometimes...
Hopefully I've made all mistakes. Because it's really, really hard.
Hansa, sometimes I see it as like a grafiek.
Like a graph.
Like a graph. which has like these ups and these downs, and most of the people in Dutch called het gros are taking highly care of their self-insurance, you know. Yeah. People really love to be insured that everything is taken care of.
Yeah,
they don't choose
really
for the adventure.
To be really, really safe.
Like 97% of the people chooses to just be safe, have this insurance, and live their life. Read some books and that's
which has everything to do with fear.
Yeah, and it's not even bad to actually do that.
No.
But
it is.
I mean,
fear.
We cannot all. Like fucking savages, planet Earth, and like fucking eat it. You know, if it's good that a lot of people are like that. That's a fucking animal thing inside of us. But when you at some point,
we are also afraid.
When you're going really high, and you can. That's the thing with what you see in a graph. Yeah. When it goes up, and its highest point, you can go down 2 times more than when you're just on the average, you know?
Yeah. Like your highs are higher and your lows are lower.
You're also going underneath. And that's a thing we also saw in our lives, also with what just happened with Hans and with Lars. Yeah. And I can say that at some point my friend Laurens von Strien was falling out of my window, and he died in my arms. And actually seeing that and feeling that, like so close to him dying, I still hear like this sound I heard at that moment, but I heard it already so many times that I don't even. I can talk about it normally, you know, because it's on the surface of my existence.
Before he fell down, he was all the time. He was all the time. No, he was. I know that Ro was all the time busy avoiding him to fall down out of the window, which at a certain moment he had to make the decision. And the same guy that fell down asked him to let him go because he didn't want Roderik to die as well.
He didn't. He didn't really ask it in words, but
then Maikel starts to tell his story.
I was this close to falling myself as well.
So
because
I
was hanging myself,
and you were holding
as
him,
well, holding him, and I was inside for just a really small piece of my body. So then I looked back and I had to grab back because otherwise I fell myself, you know. Yeah. But I did my total best to save this motherfucker. I don't blame myself for just one small piece of it because
you did everything.
I did everything I could.
You did everything.
So
you could.
I cannot do more than I'm able to.
Okay, mate.
That's the how do you say it? The able.
You did everything you could.
But
you could.
What I want. I wanted to say.
You did more than you possibly could.
The moment when that happened, I went to Hansie's home and we talked. But that I'm now actually able to, and surrounded with these loveliest persons, loveliest people, and that we can actually we're building something, and we don't think about stuff like this that often because we just want to float and go. But that's why a conversation like this is for us kind of cool as well, because then you end up. And it's always funny because you know it's getting taped and it's getting real. You're thinking about it.
That's a background.
Yeah.
If you go to the roots, you go to the roots.
Yeah. It wordt toch hier.
Yeah, so you guys went through a lot of shit together, and I think that's
individually
and individually too. Yeah. So I guess that's where a big part of your drive comes from too.
All people has that.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's our story. I mean,
everybody has a story.
Fuck that. We try to make like the good thing of it.
Normaal.
Always.
Right.
And that's this place. I mean,
it is. But I understand what you're saying.
Like, they call it also.
It's very intense.
This place also a living room of the city. Unless people can come here and talk about their own things and just be here.
Right. That's good.
And to share something.
But
that's a good thing.
There are certain people we don't let into our place. Like then we just stand in front of the door and say, no, you cannot come in, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, for example, people with some women with, when one of the tits is hanging like more than 2 centimeters below the other one, we don't leave them. That's not. Or with one leg. There's something like balance in life, you know. There's something like balance. We cannot be that outbalanced. That's like if it doesn't influx our status of going.
I think that is.
There's a lot of people say to us, the painting is not straight. You hang it in a house and they say the painting is not straight. And we say, to solve the problem, we say, no, your house is not straight.
I think that's a good note to end this podcast on. That was a lot of fun, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay,
let's end with a simple quote.
All right.
There is an enormous difference between seeing and looking.
All right. let's end on that. Boom. Where can we find you online? How do people find you guys? This is a
AAA Gallery.
AAA Gallery or AAA Fresh 123.
AAA Fresh 123.com.
Yeah, man.
And you're also on Facebook and Instagram.
Me on 0669.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
We're still doubting to stop with the entire gallery story and just make it like a shawarma salon. to sell shawarma.
And we sell the thickest condoms in the world.
No, actually, if this goes through the world,
business model you get there.
just Google
That's the business model.
Google Kapsalon
Kapsalon, okay.
shawarma.
Kapsalon shawarma.
Make one in Australia, please.
Right. Oh, you Australian
make a
cunts.
Kapsalon in Australia.
Do that.
So exactly.
I hope so.
And can guys follow you guys individually on Instagram?
Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
You got on Instagram, right?
Easy on the tonic. Easy on the tonic.
Easy on the tongue.
Okay.
Hashtag.
So yeah, okay.
Yeah, no,
Roderik
Instagram,
Faasen.
everything. Maikel Kleinjan.
If you put the names, and you go.
It will appear. You just have to click on it. It's the same with entering a woman's body. You have to click on the certain points.
At the website, you have quite nice virtual tour you can make. That's quite cool to see.
Yeah,
because if you go to the virtual tour and you watch the big brown table and the gallery space, that's actually the place where we are doing this interviews. People can.
The only thing you have to do is to push the wrong button. But then
Blijf van de ruimte af.
So guys, check out the website. It's there's a really cool 3D tour on there. Also check out the website for this podcast, which is thepolarizer.com. You can find the show on Twitter, _polarizer. You can find me on Instagram at Dutch Diederik. I got over 10,000 followers now, so that's pretty sweet. Let's see, what else? Yeah, that's it. All right, Hans Kleinjan, Maikel Kleinjan, Roderik Faasen. Thank you. You're awesome.
Thank you. So,
All right. That's a wrap.
Er zitten echt gewoon massale stukken in. Er zitten echt massale stukken in.
And I forgot to add, also check out the Patreon page for this podcast. If you look for the Polarizer Podcast on Patreon, you will find it, and there's also a link on thepolarizer.com. If you like the show, you can become a part of it by making a small contribution every time I put out a new show, which helps me keep this thing going, and you will get all kinds of cool special perks if you decide to become a part of the Polarizer family. So that's it. Thank you all for listening, ladies and gentlemen, and I will see you next time. Hope you have a great week. Bye. Tot ziens.